Back in Indy moments ago, our Lauren Gardner on the sideline with Texan head coach Bill O'Brien.
Well, Coach, after last week's win over Jacksonville, you told your team that not only is today's game the big one, but that the Texans have never won here in Indianapolis before. What is it going to take for you guys to get that big win here today?
Well, it's got to change someday, so we have to start fast. They're a fast-starting team. We've got to be on our P's and Q's right from the start, right here. So the beginning of the game is going to dictate, really, to me, how the game goes.
Thanks, Coach. Kevin?
Rich Gannon, he's going to be relying a lot today on that guy, number 99, J.J. Watt.
He has been a game wrecker, Kevin. We talked about it. And, the Colts talked all week about having a plan and accounting for number 99 every single snap.
They've had the flip of the coin. The Colts won. They have elected to receive, so they send back Josh Cribbs. He's been back here a couple games now. He's had a fumbling issue. He played in Cleveland last week and lost 2. Randy Bullock will be kicking off for the Houston Texans, 7-6. Colts come in 9-4, and here we go in Indy, and Cribbs. He'll take it from about 9.5 yards deep and get things rolling for the Colts. He get a block on the play from Zerwan Tipton, and he is brought down after a 27-yard gain. He's up to about the 17-yard line. The Colt offense, number 1, with more big plays than any other team in the league. Andrew Luck said the other day, Rich, he has never felt this well this late in the season.
Yeah, he's taking good care of himself, Kevin. But, we were talking about Houston's slow starts. The Colts have been slow starters as well. They haven't scored an opening drive touchdown all season. Last week, their first 6 possessions, 5 punts and a fumble.
From their own 18-yard line, it's 1st and 10 for Luck, who's going to go to the air and just out of the reach of his tight end, Dwayne Allen. Coverage on the play by Swearinger and Lewis. Colts have a new right guard today. Lance Lewis taking the plays of Hugh Thornton. We mentioned T.Y. Hilton before. T.Y. Hilton is number 3 in receiving yards, number 8 with 78 receptions on the season. And Rich was talking about Reggie Wayne, who's a bit debilitated, starting today. 2nd down and 10. Trent Richardson. Around his ankles, he finds cornerback Kareem Jackson for a gain of 2 to the 20-yard line. The defense for the Texans, J.J. Watt. What more can you say? Pro Football Focus has given him the highest grade it has ever given a player, offense or defense. The linebackers and John Simon will be starting today, taking the place of Whitney Merciless, who is out and injured. And in the secondary, Kendrick Lewis has already made a stop. He is off to his best start. The free agent from the Chiefs. Jackson came back last week as one corner. He talked to Jonathan Joseph last night. He's optimistic about this number 25 defense today. It is 3rd down and 8 for Indy. Stands with the block at the left tackle. Here comes Watt. There goes the ball. Coughed up. It is incomplete. It was dropped by Kobe Fleener. He had coverage on him on the play. It's 3 and out. The Colts have got a punt.
Well, they talked about getting a body on Kobe Fleener at the line of scrimmage. You see really playing in and out coverage. You see the corner and the linebacker there. Can't let Fleener attack in the middle of the field. That's where they've had a lot of success.
One of the best punters in the NFL is Pat McAfee, and he sees Keyshawn Martin at the other end of the field for the Texans. 3 and out for the Colts, and they are a good first quarter scoring team. McAfee sends it skyward. Martin signals for and is given the fair catch at the 32-yard line on a 47-yard punt. So the offense comes out there right now, led by Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's the 15th ranked offense in the NFL. He was benched for a couple games, has come back, and in the 2 games, Rich, he's come back. He has not thrown an interception.
No, he's taking good care of the football, Kevin. And the thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick is the ball's out quick. He knows where he's going to go with the football most of the time before the snap. And as Bill O'Brien told us last night, he is a good fit in their system because a lot of the responsibility, a lot of the choices in this offense are at the line of scrimmage with the quarterback.
From the 32-yard line, it is a 1st and 10 for Fitzpatrick. Into the air with the short drop, and Damaris Johnson, the receiver, has it across the way, 37-yard line, and hit on the play by the secondary, and coming through is Toller on a gain of 6. Here's Chris Myers anchoring the offensive line, his 126th consecutive start today in the NFL. And DeVere Posey will be taking the place, the 3rd-year receiver out of Ohio State, for the concussed Andre Johnson, out inactive. This is the first game that Posey has been active this season. 2nd down and 4. Arian Foster slips through, chased by Adams, and getting the block up ahead from Hopkins. And the great running back is over 1,000 yards already this season for the Texans to the 48-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts, who are led on the line by Corey Redding. He's a Houston kid, played at the University of Texas, and he's the front man on that 34D. In the linebacking core, Eric Walden, the former Packer, is having a career year with 6 sacks. In the secondary, Mike Adams, who is a free agent. Not many showed interest, but he signed here in Indy and is having a Pro Bowl season. And on 1st and 10 with the little tackle made right there by Jarrell Freeman. A gain of 4 to the 44 by Arian Foster. With a look at the inactive Andre Johnson.
Yeah, difficult not having him in the lineup, Kevin. A concussion last week against Jacksonville. I'd say he's having a modest season. 69 catches, 737 yards. Averages just a little over 10 yards a catch and just the 2 touchdowns this year. But what he is so good at and where they're going to miss him is yards after the catch. He is big, he is physical, and he is tough to bring down in the open field.
5 in the secondary for the Colts. 2nd down and 6 for Houston. Griffin, the tight end, with the block, and they go across the way, and it was grabbed right in front of Toller by receiver DeAndre Hopkins. He picks up 17. They say he was not on the chalk to the 27.
Well, they're going to press DeAndre Hopkins a lot. He's going to have to win at the line of scrimmage, and Ryan Fitzpatrick told us last night they love the back shoulder throw to Hopkins. It's something that Fitzpatrick feels comfortable with. It's something he does well. They're going to jump the ball here.
They challenge, I think, the red flag.
Prior to the snap, Indianapolis has thrown their challenge flag. Indianapolis has thrown their challenge flag prior to the snap.
There's a look at Gene Steratore, who's our referee here today in Indy. Let's see if he got the feet down or not. They showed it on the big board. One is down, the other one on the chalk. There's a challenge on a catch by DeAndre Hopkins on the far side, about the 27-yard line.
After review, the ruling on the field has been overturned to an incomplete forward pass. There will be 3rd down and 6. The ball will be placed at the hash mark nearest Houston sideline. 3rd and 6 at the 44-yard line. Indianapolis will not be charged with a timeout. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 12 minutes, 25 seconds. 12:25 on the game clock, please.
Obviously
Pretty easy to see. I'm surprised the official on the field missed that one. Receiver has to give the quarterback, Kevin, a little bit more room on the boundary. You can't run those sideline routes 2-3 yards from the boundary.
So they're going to throw that back shoulder thing. There's got to be some space.
Yeah, 4 or 5 yards. Give the quarterback some margin for error when you're throwing that ball.
It is now 3rd and 6 from the 44-yard line in the first drive for the Texans today.
This is where Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Texans got to be sharp. The Colts spent a lot of time on their 3rd down package.
They'll run it. He's got to get to the 38, and down he goes. Brought down on the play by Bjorn Werner. It is a gain of 2. He's down to the 42-yard line, and the Texans will punt.
It's a good stop for the Colts. Really, both defenses, Kevin, a good first series, a good start to the game for both of these units. Good look at Cribbs last week. I thought he struggled. The decision-making wasn't very good last week against his former team, the Browns. He put the ball on the ground twice.
Cribbs is waving it off on the Shane Leckler punt. He waved it off. He did not fair catch it with the catch at the 14. Then maneuvers up to about the 18-yard line. We'll take a break, then come back and watch quarterback Andrew Luck from Houston, Texas, quarterbacking Indy today, 11:43 in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Amazon's new Fire HD, powerful tablet, endless entertainment. And by Honda, where you can get great deals during Happy Honda Days.
No score, Rich. The Colts told you the theme this week is protect the ball, protect the quarterback.
They need to do a better job protecting Andrew Luck, and it really starts with their offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton, something he talked a lot about this week.
Here's Richardson on first down and 10, trying to burrow his way, and he's met by the defense of Mike Muhammad. Getting out to about the 21-yard line on a pickup of 3.
And one of the ways you say, well, how does Pep Hamilton, Kevin, protect Andrew Luck? I think there's a lot that goes into it. More protection conscious, some more 6- and 7-man protections. They've got to be able to run the football a little bit. They've got to be able to move the pocket. He took too many nasty hits last week against the Browns.
He was hit a lot, wasn't he? Second down and 7.
Second. White 70. What's that?
Watt was coming up the middle. They get it outside to T.Y. Hilton with the grab defensively by Kareem Jackson. It is a gain of 9, and he is up to about the 30-yard line. And a flag thrown on the play. Gene Steratore also officiates basketball games in the Big Ten here in the Indiana Hoosier country.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 25. Penalty is declined, and the result of the play is a first down.
There's Pep Hamilton.
Yeah, good look at Pep Hamilton. I think he's a terrific play caller, Kevin. He's aggressive. You look at this. It's a high-powered offense. Number 1 in total offense, number 1 in passing, and number 1 in scoring. They're averaging over 31 points a game. But what he's uncomfortable about is his quarterback. It's a long season, and he has been hit too much.
But they've got a long history together, don't they?
They do. They go back to their days at Stanford. The quarterback and the play caller clearly on the same page here in Indy.
First and 10, Richardson picks up the blitz. Look outside, Hilton. He's got the ball near the 45. Defended on the play by Jonathan Joseph. It is a pickup of 15 yards. It is a first down for Indy.
You know, sometimes a perfect throw and perfect catch is what gets it done. Jonathan Joseph is in great position here. I mean, he does everything right except the fact that, you know, Luck throws it about the only place that T.Y. Hilton can catch it. Look at the double team on J.J. Watt.
Richardson first and 10. Speaking of Watt, he's going to wrap up Richardson as he takes it by midfield to the 49 with a gain of 6.
Yeah, you talk about J.J. Watt, Kevin, this is going to be really important. You talk about being protection conscious. You better have a plan for how you're going to attack J.J. Watt. They'll slide the line. They'll put a tight end over there. They'll chip with the back. Anything that they can do to take the edge off of J.J. Watt early.
Player was shaken up on that last play, Jonathan Joseph. He will go off. We talked to him last night. He started every game this season. His running mate on the other side, Kareem Jackson, hasn't. He was inactive for about 3 games with an injury.
Now, when you see Jonathan Joseph go out and your Pep Hamilton and your Andrew Luck, your eyes light up. Okay, who's the next guy that they're bringing in? And let's put T.Y. Hilton out there against him, and let's try and go by him.
Now they got A.J. Boyer along with Daryl Morris out there with a second down and 4.
Typically, they'll rotate coverage there. They'll put a corner and a safety when you make a substitution like this in the middle of the game.
Oh, Luck was turning and no one was there to be found, and he goes over the head of Hilton across the way with the coverage by Morris. Was he looking for the running back that time, who we thought was going to be his safety valve?
Well, I think he got confused. It looked like he looked out to his left, thinking that the back was going to run the flat. Both backs went the opposite direction. A little bit of confusion there. You look at the tight end in the back in that last sequence. See Andrew Luck. He's one of the best in the business. He's an air traffic controller, directing traffic at the line of scrimmage. If you're not sure in that huddle, ask 12. He'll tell you.
He'll tell you. Third down and 4. Going through his progressions, here comes Watt, who got a hand on the back of the quarterback, and it's over Richardson's head with the coverage on the play in the secondary by Danielle Manning. It's incomplete for a second consecutive possession. The Colts have got a punt.
Well, look at the point of emphasis here, J.J. Watt. Pretty nice job by Costanzo, but you look inside, and Ewart, he's looking. He's got his eyes out there. He knows that he has to give some inside presence, some inside help to the left tackle.
McAfee to punt once again. Keyshawn Martin is back at about the 10, and he'll take it, and then he is quickly brought down on the play by Dante Moncrief, who is a rookie wide receiver, an emerging player on this team. 39-yard punt. First quarter, 9:38. Tomorrow on CBS, these geniuses don't fit in the world, but They're the only ones who can save it. It's a new episode of Scorpion tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, only CBS from the 12. Second possession coming up for the Texans. Look at Arian Foster. This team runs it more than any other team in the NFL.
High percentage, Kevin. They run the ball almost 52% of the time, which is the most in football. That's who they are. They want to run first, play action second.
They have a couple of tight ends here with the 1st and 10 at the 12. Foster will block. They go for Hopkins. Almost picked off on the play. Vontae Davis, a very tough corner. Hopkins will face all day long. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Here are some of the things, if you take a look at this play one more time.
Yeah, you look at it. Vontae Davis out last week with a concussion, Kevin. What we're seeing from really both defenses is a ton of press man-to-man coverage. All right, here are the keys today. You got to win with Arian Foster. We know that. You got to force luck into making some mistakes. He accounted for 19 of the 26 turnovers. You got to account for what was your protection plan, sliding the line, and finally, you got to keep a lid on their 2 best players, Arian Foster and DeAndre Hopkins.
Both over 1,000 yards in their respective positions for the 2nd and 10. It's Foster working his way outside into the grasp of Eric Walden. Takes it to about the 16-yard line. It is a gain of 3. Yep. For the last 5 years, that guy has been over 1,000 yards.
Another outstanding season, Kevin. And 3 games, over 1,000 already this season, despite missing 3 games. He's averaging 5.0 a carry. They know, the Colts, they've talked all week about keeping a lid on 23. It's going to take all 11 to stop Arian Foster.
There's 1,028 yards, number 6 in the NFL coming into today. Here is a 3rd and 7 for Ryan Fitzpatrick out of Harvard. He needs the 22, and he's got the 1st down. He works his way to about the 26-yard line. Jarrell Freeman, the linebacker over there, a gain of 11, a 1st down for the Texans.
Well, he's a very good scrambler, and he's not afraid to pull the ball down and run, and he's not looking to slide. He's unique. Not the biggest guy, but he's tough. He's durable, and he's competitive.
It's a 1st and 10 with Foster. Newton trying to get the block in there, and then it's Corey Redding who brings him down with no gain on the play, remaining at the 27-yard line.
Well, the key, I think, for the Colts defensively, Kevin, against Arian Foster, Chuck Pagano talked about it on Friday. They've got to get a lot of hats to the football. He said it's going to take all 11 to stop Arian Foster. You've got to be on the same page, gap integrity. You've got to set the edge against the back like him and force him to run between the tackles.
Johnson in the slot, 2nd down and 10. Alfred Blue in for the 1st time. They jump on his back, Adams there along with Redding. And the rookie out of LSU takes it to the 32-yard line with a gain of 6, bringing up 3rd down and 4.
And this is one of those games, if you're the Colts, you've got to bring your big boy pads, you've got to bring your chin strap, you got to make sure you're buckled up, because the Texans will test you in the running game for 60 minutes. This is an offense that's committed to running the football, and they won't get discouraged.
Did you say big boy pads?
Yeah, your big shoulder. Put those bigger ones on. You're gonna use them a lot. This isn't a finesse game. This is a physical game with a back like 23.
Pads are pants. It doesn't matter. Make sure they're big boy size. Right, 3rd and 4. And Foster finds nothing right there. Verner brings him down. Loss of a yard. Back to the 31. Another punt coming up for Houston.
Well, they do a nice job with their stunts. Keep an eye on Verner. He's going to come back around, and he falls right into the lap of Arian Foster. You know, in the run game, we think about these stunts, these TE stunts or these ET where the ends and tackles twist. It really disrupts you in the running game more than anything sometimes.
Leckler to punt. Boy, if you like punting, this is your game. 2 of the best in the business here today. Cribbs from the 15 and drilled on the play. Wonderful, wonderful special teams by the Texans. And that was made by Eddie Pleasant, who had a beat on Cribbs, knocking him into next week. 6.5 in the 1st.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Game of War. Play free now. And by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
Well, earlier today, Specialist Shayna Cornett surprised her 2 daughters, mom and sister, returning from her deployment in Afghanistan. A great moment. This will be the first time the family has attended a Colts game together. Cheerleaders, mom, sister, everybody. Pretty doggone happy. How about that?
Well, that's awesome. That's great to see. It brings tears to your eyes when you see that happen. These kids so excited to see mom.
First down and 10 after the punt. And boom, Heron. Daniel Heron out of Ohio State, wrapped up around the ankles by John Simon, starting today, and a gain of 1. The count of Luck and all quarterbacks against J.J. Watt. Pretty important, I would think.
Yeah, it really is, Kevin. You know, we don't emphasize it enough. The snap count, that hard count. I think it's important early to slow down J.J. Watt. You want to keep him on his heels, and you know that the offensive line would appreciate that.
70.
It is a second down and 9 for Luck. Up the middle they come with Cushing, and it's wide and incomplete, looking for Allen. Tony Gonzalez is with JB today in New York. Let's go to the now on CBS.
That he is, Kevin, talking about his old team. Yeah, here they are. They're getting a nice little punt return out of Anthony Thomas, the rookie out of Oregon. He's going to do the rest. He's going to take it 81 yards, get some good blocking as he gets to the score. Kansas City goes up over Oakland 7-0.
KC with his fingers crossed regarding the postseason. Back to Kevin Harlan.
Crossed indeed, James. You're right. Rich, they've lost a couple in a row, the Chiefs.
They've got some work to do, no question about it.
It's third down and 9. Intercepted and picked off by Lewis, who will maneuver his way in for the touchdown. Luck has thrown a pick 6 again like he did last week. The third this season thrown by Indianapolis quarterback Andrew Luck. And Lewis takes it to the house. A stunner.
Well, one of the problems is you've got to be able to feel what the coverage is, and they fool him a little bit. They bail out the line of scrimmage. He tries to rush it. Fleener doesn't sit down in the hole. I mean, that's just too easy for Kendrick Lewis.
Kendrick Lewis, who comes as a free agent from the Chiefs in his first year, and Luck, who has just been so inundated with questions about the turnovers, and the extra point right here as the Texans bring back their 4th into the end zone for a touchdown. This defense of Houston, Rich, is number 1 in the NFL in takeaway.
Their 30th takeaway of the season, the 17th interception, 13 fumbles. They do a great job getting their hands on the football.
Those numbers say a lot about this young, rising player, Andrew Luck.
Kevin, that's the one thing that's holding him back right now. You look at that, 63 turnovers in 48 career games. He's tied with Eli Manning for the most since 2012. He's got to take better care of the football.
Cribbs will leave it in the end zone. Touchback. Texans with their 15th consecutive game with a takeaway.
Well, let's look at the tight end. He comes up and he starts running across the field as opposed to sitting in the hole, and I think Andrew Luck's confused. He expects Kobe Fleener to sit between the linebacker and the safety. He makes up his mind. It's almost as if he predetermines where he's going to go with the football. This one's just too easy for the safety, Kendrick Lewis. Not on the same page. Communication, we talk about how important it is. If you're not on the same page, if there's any indecision, it usually leads to a bad mistake.
Put me into the head of a quarterback who has just thrown a pick 6. When you do, I mean, what are you thinking? Is you got to go back out there again?
Well, I think one of the best things about Andrew Luck, Kevin, I mentioned to this in our production meeting, he reminds me a little bit of Joe Montana in that he's able to turn the page. Regardless if it's a touchdown or an interception, he's able to quickly move on.
There's a 1st and 10. They come up the middle. It goes outside for Richardson, who is brought down by Jarrell Poe. Read it well off the line. Loss of 7 on the play. Back to the 13-yard line.
You have to have a very short memory when you play the quarterback position. I think that's one of the strengths of Andrew Luck's game. Mentally, he's a tough guy. When he makes a mistake, he's not going to dwell on it. And not only that, but the other 10 players in the huddle on this coaching staff, they've seen it time and time again. When he makes a mistake, he's able to turn around and make some big plays. That guy right there, Pep Hamilton, he's got all the confidence in the world in Andrew Luck.
Single.
It's a 2nd and 17 for Luck. Here they come. Watt is on his tail. Cushing is zeroing in, and he slides to about the 19-yard line and down right there on a scramble of 7.
Kevin, I've played for some coordinators where I've thrown a pick early, and they get conservative. They take the ball out of my hand. They start running the football. They throw screens, quick game, anything they can do to quiet me down. Pep Hamilton won't do that with Andrew Luck. He believes in him. He's going to continue to be aggressive. He's going to continue to give him shots.
And not much of a run game to go to either, huh?
They throw the football to set up the pass. That's who the Colts are right now. Richardson has been a major disappointment. Production simply not there.
Joseph, by the way, back out there. Some late housekeeping about that defense. 3rd and 11. Got away from Watt. Moving up nicely. Looking for Moncrief, and it's incomplete. With the coverage on him, Danielle Manning. Dante Moncrief, a rookie 3rd-round pick out of Mississippi. Incomplete. They got a punt. 3 and out.
Well, they just rushed 3. This makes it a little bit more difficult for J.J. Watt. You see both guard and tackle trying to block him. But you just watch Moncrief. Kevin, the last 10 yards, he went right by the safety. He's got legitimate 4.3 speed.
Reggie Wayne has been monitoring everything that Moncrief does. Here's the punt by Pat McAfee. Keyshawn Martin, and a nice tackle made by Sergio Brown. A 50-yard punt. 4:13 in the first. Here comes Ryan Fitzpatrick. His defense has just given him a 7-0 lead in Indy. A lot of teams still in the mix in the AFC playoff picture.
They really are. Look at the all jumbled up there at 8-5 and 7-6. Some critical games this weekend. I think, Kevin, they're ultimately going to determine whether or not some of these teams are still around in Week 17.
A lot of jostling back and forth. So Luck gets thrown a pick 6. The defense has spotted 7 for the Houston Texans. Their offense comes out now after a 3 and out by the Colts. It is 1st and 10. Fake to Damaris Johnson, little sidearm job, knocked away. That could be free. Jarrell Freeman knocked it away. It is incomplete. Ryan Griffin, the tight end, had it, dropped it. 2nd down and 10.
Well, just keep an eye on Jarrell Freeman. He does a really nice job with all the action away. He's not fooled at all. He stays true to his read, covering that tight end in the flat.
You like Freeman, don't you?
I like him a lot, Ken. I like how he plays the game. He's got a great nose for the ball. Makes a lot of plays at or around the line of scrimmage.
With a 2nd and 10 handoff to Fucker, drilled by Werner. It's a loss of 1. The Steelers, the Falcons, with JB and Tony G.
Kevin, it hurts Tony to read this highlight.
Definitely hurts there, JB. Right here, you can see Matt Ryan drop back. He gets picked off by William Gay. William Gay is going to have some impressive moves on the way back here. He takes it back 52 yards for the touchdown. Pittsburgh up in the 2nd quarter, 13-0.
No enthusiasm on that read, Kevin.
And for the 2nd consecutive week, the Falcons find themselves in a hole.
Yeah, and a big hole, Kevin, without Julio Jones in the lineup today. That's really going to hurt Matt Ryan.
3rd and 11. Outside, the tackle was made by Toller. The reception on the play by DeAndre Hopkins. He's shy of the 1st down, up to about the 38, pickup of 7. And the Texans will have to punt again.
They've done a nice job. You know, you look at these corners for the Colts. Vontae Davis, Darius Butler, Greg Toller. Do a nice job. As I studied this team, Kevin, preparing for this game, they play a ton of man-to-man coverage, and these guys do a really good job with their assignments.
Leckler, who's #1 in the history of the NFL, is run average at 42 yards, gets it off to Cribbs, who's returned multiple for touchdowns. The tackle made on the part of the Texans by Jonathan Grimes. 49-yard punt, 8-yard return. J.J. Watt today.
Well, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that he's not a factor in this one. Double team him. You see the tackles, guards, tight ends, backs chipping on him. The ball's going to come out quick. The quarterback is well aware of 99. And the thing I love about J.J. Watt, he makes a lot of the plays he makes simply are because of the great effort and hustle. It's not always the most talented players that make plays. It's the players that are relentless in their pursuit of excellence.
Herron is in the backfield, and you see the flag, and it's a false start, and it's on the Colts. Rich, we know that Indianapolis is outscoring their opponents 80-33 in the first quarter this season.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I mean, 80-33, that is something. It's the last week to vote for the 2015 Pro Bowl. Select the best players regardless of conference. Then Chris Carter and Michael Irvin will draft teams as alumni captains. Vote now at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. Voting ends Monday night. That's a big disparity.
It really is. You mentioned their fast starts, but, look, last week it wasn't good, and this week they're struggling. I mean, they've been held without a first down on 3 of their first 4 possessions.
First and 15.
There's 70!
Watch the cross.
There's that.
Luck hit as he throws. There's the cross. They told him to watch out for it. And it's Reggie Wayne, who was brought down by Kareem Jackson. The gain to the 27, pickup of 10. And some applause there for the great Reggie Wayne.
Well, look, he struggled. Nice little move there. Just lulls him to sleep. You look at that left arm. He's got a torn tricep muscle. Last week he wore a big, bulky brace. It was very difficult for him to really extend and to use those hands at the line of scrimmage. He's went with a kind of a sleeve today. That should help him.
Second 5 here for Luck. He dumps it off. It's caught by Daniel Herron. Grabbed by Swearinger. He's got a first down up to the 39-yard line. A catch and run of 12 on the play by Herron, who is in his second year out of Ohio State.
Well, keep an eye on J.J. Watt. He's going to get pressure inside, and it forces Luck to step up. But watch how he keeps his eyes down the field and finds that back slipping out into the flat.
He just does not give up on plays, regardless.
He does, and it gets him in trouble sometimes, Kevin, but he's a different type of quarterback. He is a physical quarterback. His his skills make him plays.
I
was going to say his improv skills.
Improv. No, you got it. You got it. Here's Luck. T.Y. Hilton's got it at the 41-yard line, defended by Jonathan Joseph. Big pickup of 20. There was no improv there by Hilton. He was on the money.
And none needed with a guy like T.Y. Hilton. Nice release off the ball. Look how he uses his eyes. He looks back inside, and that gets Jonathan Joseph just to freeze a little bit, and that creates some separation. We always talk about moves, using your eyes, using that head to set the defender to think that you're going to go to the post when you're actually going back to the corner.
Use anything you got. The first and 10 here from the 41 of Houston. Going outside, Boyer got tangled up. There's a flag. Reggie Wayne was trying to work on the second-year player, undrafted out of Central Florida, A.J. Boyer. And they got tangled up. The veteran with words to the young kid saying, hey.
Pass interference. Defense, number 34. Spot foul, automatic. First down.
Well, you just can't grab them. And, we had a great conversation with Pep Hamilton and Chuck Pagano on Friday. They said that Reggie Wayne went back to the mind of a beginner last week. Really, we talk about catching the football. See what's at the end of the ball, that X. He had 3 drops last week, very uncharacteristic for a player like Reggie Wayne.
There's Luck on a first and 10. Herron, and he's quickly knocked down by Boyer at about the 31-yard line, and no gain on the play. That's interesting. Making your mind think young, and Wayne is the oldest receiver at 36 in the NFL.
Sometimes, Kevin, when we're struggling, we talk about going back to the basics, the fundamentals, simply catching the football with the hands extended. And, Reggie put 3 on the ground last week. I've never seen this guy do that. I don't think he's healthy. I think he really had a cumbersome brace on last week, made it very difficult for him to extend his hands.
Yeah, it's the elbow issue. He's got a sore knee. Here's a second down and 10 for Luck. He's got T.Y. Hilton, who's hit by Swearinger and brought down about the 26-yard line, winding our conversation up on Wayne. Today, his 209th game played. It's the most all-time in a Colts uniform. At the end of one, Texans by 7. Luck looks pretty good since throwing that pick 6.
We talk about the ability to turn the page and the ability to move on. 6 of 7, Kevin, since the interception, he's hit his last 5 passes.
Start the second quarter. He's hit Wayne for 10, a catch and run, Herron 12, and he got T.Y. Hilton for 20. 3rd and 4 here.
190!
Hakeem Nicks is the 3rd receiver, and Luck getting nice blocking from Lewis the guard. He's got Nicks. 10, touchdown. Banging off bodies like a pinball. A 26-yard throw and a good-looking run after it by Hakeem Nicks.
Well, they're in a bunch set. Hakeem Nicks is just going to run the in route. They're in zone coverage. He does a nice job throttling it down and sitting in that hole. And again, good blocking here by Shirless and the right guard, Lewis. They don't want Andrew Luck worrying about J.J. Watt.
37 touchdown pass thrown by Luck. You're right. He has got a short memory. It's like it never even happened. The extra point by Vinatieri in. That ties the game. Defensive touchdown by the Texans. A 26-yard touchdown pass moments ago. Nicks has had very little impact on the Colts today. He's heard from early. Nice touchdown pass by Luck. Find the perfect gift for the sports fan on your gift list. Beat crowds and get free shipping when you shop CBS Sports today. Take advantage of this offer now at cbssports.com/holiday. So it's like nothing happened for Luck, huh? He throws the pick six, comes back a couple series later and takes him right downfield.
It's like Joe Montana.
I know it.
Like Marty Schottenheimer coached Joe Montana in Kansas City. When I got to Kansas City, that's the first thing that Marty Schottenheimer told me. He said the best thing about Joe Montana was his ability, whether it was a touchdown or an interception, to turn the page, to move on, to focus on the next play. And I think he does a great job of that.
Let me worry. Here's the kickoff by Vinatieri. I'm not Vinatieri. It was by the punter who also kicks off for this team, McAfee. And that's over Daniel Manning's head and out of the end zone with a touchback to the 20-yard line.
All right, let's go back and take a look at this. When you drop a defender and you rush J.J. Watt, watch what happens. Look at the line slide this direction. Essentially, you have a triple team on J.J. Watt. And I don't understand it, Kevin. I'm not going to drop the guy that's inside J.J. Watt. That makes it easier on the protection. It makes it easier on that right tackle. Now he knows he's got a double team every snap. Too much of that so far here in the first quarter.
The offense always tilted in that direction. Find out where he is. Right?
I want to create one-on-ones with J.J. Watt.
Blue in the backfield. 1st and 10, Fitzpatrick. Little play action here, and he's got Hopkins, who's picked up by Toller and swung down at the 35, 15-yard pickup on 1st down.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins, Kevin, he's going to have to shoulder more of the load in the passing game without Andre Johnson. And you know that they're going to direct a lot of their attention defensively to taking away number 10.
He's a big target, isn't he? Physically,
he can go get it. He's got top-end speed, and he's got a pretty good catching radius.
Yeah, the 1st and 10 here. Here comes Blue into a pile, and just not much there. He's shy of the 40, about the 39-yard line. As he was hit by Arthur Jones and a couple others on a gain of 4. There's a look at Andre Johnson. By the way, the kid that hit him, the linebacker for Jacksonville, Telvin Smith, was fined over $22,000 for that hit. And the concussion protocol not finished, so he's inactive today.
Yeah, it doesn't help, obviously, Andre Johnson or Bill O'Brien or more importantly, Ryan Fitzpatrick, not having one of your best players out there with you.
Jonathan Grimes in the backfield on a 2nd down and 6 for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Holding up, Redding breaking through. There goes Fitzpatrick, and down he goes about the 41-yard line. There wasn't a whole lot of running space right there. Once again, the former Baltimore Raven, Arthur Jones, brings him down. It is a loss of 2, and look at, he's getting up slow. He picked up 2 on the play. I think I said loss. He picked up 2, and he's out to the 41, and Fitzpatrick is there. And backing him up is the rookie out of Pittsburgh, Tom Savage, who has not thrown a pass this season in the NFL.
Remember now, they're without Ryan Mallett, who they lost a couple weeks ago with a torn pec injury. Looks like he just gets rolled up there at the end. Maybe that right leg, you see Savage warming up. Gotta be a little nervous, huh?
Savage has not thrown a pass as they look at Fitzpatrick in his 10th year, 3rd team in 3 years. And the one thing is they felt he was such a good fit for this system at this stage. They look at him right now, 13-17 in the first half. Never a good sign when a guy's being taken off the field in a cart. We've watched it. It looks like they've put on a boot on his left leg. And My guess is it's broken.
Yeah, not good, Kevin. You know, he's running for trying to make a play and just got caught in an awkward position. It's great to see his teammates all come over and kind of pat him on the back and give him a thumbs up as he was carted off the field. They have great respect and admiration for the job that Ryan Fitzpatrick has done this year.
Now, here's rookie Tom Savage. You saw a 4th-round pick out of Pitt. He played at 3 different schools, or at least he was enrolled at 3 different schools. Ended up at Pitt. 3rd down and 4. He has never thrown a pass in the regular season. Look out. Got away. Hopkins, 1st down. He beat Toller. He's at midfield. He picks up 9. How about that for your first NFL pass?
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You know, don't block him. Let him rush the quarterback and make the rookie make a play. Does a nice job stepping up, eluding the rush, keeping his eyes down the field, and making a good, accurate throw to DeAndre Hopkins.
Sometimes, Rich, as you come in like this, you don't have time to think about it all week. You just go in there and
exactly right. You just go out and cut it loose. Bill O'Brien knows what he does well. He's going to have a package of plays for him in the passing game. Concepts where he has some history and some familiarity.
Oh, it went the wrong way, and then he's gobbled up.
You know, you'd think, Kevin, that would be on the rookie quarterback. But as you look at it from the end zone, it looks like everybody's going to the right and the running back's going to the left.
Foster was, yeah. You think he changed the play at the line?
I can't imagine there's any audibles now with Savage in the game at the line of scrimmage, but clearly everybody was going right and the back went left. When that happens, you say, it's the back.
Duck.
When 10 guys go one way and the other one goes the other way, it's usually the guy going the opposite direction.
Into the nickel, 2nd and 15. Outside, Hopkins throwing back. He lost the ball. Incomplete, dropped on the play. So your starting quarterback goes down, Ryan Fitzpatrick. So he gathers his offense, the head coach, Bill O'Brien.
He says, hey, look, we've got a young quarterback. Let's rally around this guy. We'll make it work. Show him some confidence. I think that's important.
But you're saying they've already got like a small package.
Yeah, they do. So in other words, you know what you've got with Fitzpatrick. You got the whole ball of wax. Now with the rookie quarterback, Kevin, I think the passing game gets scaled back a bit.
It makes sense. You're right. 3rd and 15. They need the 39. This is Foster, grabbed and brought down on the play by one of the newest players on this defense, Sean Phillips, who is let go by Tennessee, claimed off waivers. Thanksgiving week, no gain on the play. They got a punt.
A pretty conservative call, 3rd and 15. You play the battlefield position, you punt them, and our defense is playing well. We're in a 7-7 football game. Now it gives you some time to go over there and talk to Tom Savage about your thought process as the play caller moving forward.
Low snap, Leckler pulls it up. Beautiful hanging punt. Cribbs calls for the fair catch at the 9. Hang time of 4-7. That's what a guy who's going to go to Canton does in a game like this. A lot of eyes on number 3 with 11:07 to play in the 2nd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Lincoln Wishlist event. Visit your Lincoln showroom today. Pepsi. Hype your hometown with Pepsi at Pepsi.com/halftime. And by The Hobbit, the Battle of the 5 Armies, in theaters everywhere Wednesday.
Holiday spirit here in Indianapolis. Luck had a 26-yard touchdown pass last time out there. He's also thrown a pick 6.
Yeah, not great the first 4 drives, but they really settled in, Kevin. 6 of 6, 74 yards, big 3rd down conversion for the touchdown.
After the punt by Houston. On the series, they lost their quarterback. Luck 1st and 10, blocked by Richardson. Some depth here. Kobe Fleener right in front of Kendrick Lewis. And he's up to the 33 on a 23-yard pickup. And let's go downstairs to Lauren Gardner.
Well, Kevin, you saw the Texans quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick in a lot of pain. He was escorted off of the field on the cart and then moved into a wheelchair with an air cast on his left leg. I'll let you know more when I have it from the team.
Obviously very painful to watch, and certainly for Fitzpatrick to go through.
Yeah, you just watch that left leg.
He knew it the second he rolled over, too, that it was broken. 1st and 10. Richardson hit by linebacker Mike Muhammad. He's out to the 36-yard line and picks up 4.
Well, you look at Richardson, the production, Kevin, simply hasn't been there. His best rushing performance of the season came in week 2 against Philadelphia. He had 79 yards in that game. He's averaging just 3.3 a carry. And you look back in the 43 games that he has played in this league, he's only rushed for over 100 yards in 3 of them.
Right 5-4, rock, rock. Check out. Right, 5-4, go, go, go.
That's pressure.
Luck with a 2nd down and 6, and here comes Simon. Brooks Reed was blocked. Finally hits the deck as Swearinger was coming from the side to sideswipe him, close to a 1st down. Gain of about 6, out to the 42. He got the 1st down.
Well, you're going to see the pressure come from this direction, and what Andrew Luck does is he just runs away from pressure because they're dropping on the backside. He's a smart quarterback. He understands protections, and he understands defensive football. If they blitz you one side, the weakness in the coverage, the weakness in the defense is on the opposite side.
Nickel secondary, 1st and 10, Richardson. Just not a whole lot there. Brought down by Muhammad again. It is a gain of 3 to the 45. Sometimes, Rich, quarterbacks can try to do too much at the line.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you look at what they put a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of Andrew Luck. Not just in the passing game, but the running game. We know he's very cerebral. He can handle a lot of volume. But sometimes I think that the danger is you don't want to overload him. You don't want to take him away from playing the game fast.
160.
2nd and 7.
What's up?
The blitz was on, picked up beautifully. It's caught by Allen, the tight end, who's going to dance with Boyer. Gets the 1st down, running to about the 42. It is a catch and run of 13. They'll move the chains again.
Well, if you're the Texans, you better have a plan for how you're going to account for the tight ends in the passing game. The 3 of them have combined for 79 receptions. Fleener, Allen, Doyle do a good job incorporating the tight ends in the passing game. We talked to Romeo Crennel last night. He said we can't allow them to get free releases, especially number 80, Kobe Fleener. They've got to choke him. You got to have a big body on him at the line of scrimmage so he doesn't get that free release.
190.
Luck with the 1st and 10. Batted down, incomplete. I'm not sure it was. I think it was Watt, who's got a lot of passes defended this season. He's been terrific. That would be number 10 in terms of batted down passes if indeed it was him.
Well, I want you to watch the set. Well, he's so good at
he
that,
is
right?
Something else.
What happens is he knows it's a 3-step throw. He sees the quarterback and he can't get there. So what does he do? He jumps up and tries to bat it down. And I always tell the offensive lineman when I know I have a 3-step throw, be aggressive. Be aggressive with your set, fire out, and get their hands down.
2nd down and 10. Sometimes easier said than done.
Especially when you're trying to block 99.
2nd down and 10. Across the middle, they have Wayne. It was hit by Boyer, brought down about the 41-yard line. He picks up 2. Yeah, what do you say? I mean, you go to your right tackle. They're saying maybe it was dropped and fumbled, and they say they got the ball.
They're going to say the ball came out.
Yeah, I
think Boyer, as Reggie Wayne's catching it again, Kevin, you have a torn tricep.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by Houston. That way.
Well, we'll find out because on every change of possession, there is an automatic review of the turnover.
Well, just keep an eye on Reggie Wayne. He's trying to put the ball, he's trying to move the ball from his right hand to his left hand. Clearly that's coming out.
Boyer.
And Kevin, if you've got a guy that's got a torn tricep muscle, what do you tell the defensive backs? He's weak, holding and gripping the football. When he tries to put the ball in his left hand, let's rip it out. Really nice play by Boyer.
Over the last handful of games, they've had now 14 turnovers, an interception, and a fumble today by Reggie Wayne. And there is no doubt.
Everybody has a part in the takeaways on defense for the Houston Texans.
Savage, 1st and 10. They bobble it, and it's turned right back over. Werner jumped on the bouncing ball on the bad handoff to Foster. Now we've had 2 issues with Savage and Foster in the backfield.
All right, this one's on the quarterback, Kevin. Keep an eye on the quarterback. Run game footwork. Watch the exchange. I'm going to draw real quick. He's late getting away from the center, and Arian Foster is already on his landmark. Savage has got to take that ball with a sense of urgency and bring it to Foster with depth. Arian Foster isn't slowing down for anybody.
But let's say this kid has not had any first-team reps in practice, and because before him it was Ryan Mallett. He's always been the third guy.
But sometimes the simplest things, you think about run game footwork.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing, right? We take it for granted. And the quarterback is late getting the ball away from the center.
Hold on. 170.
Watch the cross, y'all. Watch it.
What's up?
Watch the cross, they said. 1st and 10. Herron was in the backfield. This is Andrew Luck. Oh, he's going deep. He's got Moncrief. We had a lot of traffic around him, including Boyer and Swearinger. It is incomplete, and the flag, as you can see, has been thrown. At about the 33-yard line for Gene Steratore crew. Gene told us last night his son is getting into officiating.
To the pass, holding, defense number 56, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
On linebacker Brian Cushing.
Let me go back and look at this, Kevin. This would be the correct path. This would be the incorrect path. And just go ahead and run it. First of all, the ball doesn't come up clean to him. And Arian Foster is on his track. He's got to hit that hole with precision. And that's just on the rookie quarterback. Again, we talk about reps and how important they are even in the running game.
Well, his head must be spinning right now, huh? Oh, my gosh. 1st and 10 from the 32. Herron, room to roam, chased by Swearinger. Down near the 20, hit by Lewis. Those are not boos, that's for Boom. And he picks up 11. Boom gets the first down.
Kevin, I think he's their best running back right now. You look at Herron. He's got some straight line speed to him. He's pretty decisive when he hits the hole, and he can bounce runs to the edge.
Indy, by the way, one of the top time of possession teams in the NFL, number 3. 1st and 10.
Let her roll. There's 70.
Fake to Herron, the block by Lewis, and he's going for Nix. What a catch! Working on Morris, down to the 3. 1st and goal to go, an 18-yard pickup. A terrific Hakeem Nix reception, the former Giant.
Well, you talk about it, trusting the receiver. A good throw here by Luck. But watch how the receiver has to actually turn his body to make this catch, this back shoulder throw. Great timing between the quarterback and the receiver. A veteran guy in Hakeem Nix makes a good adjustment on the boundary.
Herron remains. Now they bring back Doyle as a fullback. 1st and goal.
70.
Looking for Doyle, and then going, it was tipped, and it was caught by Allen. Swearinger was there, a 3-yard touchdown pass. It is the second today by quarterback Andrew Luck. He fumbled it. The rookie taking the place of the injured Fitzpatrick, and the Colts cash in.
Well, you're just going to watch Allen. He's just going to slip out. It's all the action away. Does a good job. Runs like a little over route where he starts him to the right, works back to the left. Good timing between quarterback and tight end.
He looked at Jack Doyle first, and then he went in the back of the end zone on that 1st and goal at the 3. And here is a Vinatieri extra point try with 6:21 to go. It's through 14-7. And Dwayne Allen with his 8th touchdown reception of the season. It is a career high. The rookie fumbling on the handoff to Foster. A couple plays later, it's Luck to Allen for 6. Coming up in the Verizon halftime report, JB, Tony Park, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Scores, news, and highlights from a very busy day, plus a special Thursday night football doubleheader this Saturday on CBS and NFL Network. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. The ensuing kickoff after Luck's 2nd touchdown throw. Danielle Manning will bring it out. There's a little space. Studebaker's got him. Got hamstring and all, and drags him down about the 23 on a 29-yard return. Lauren Gardner's on our sideline today.
Well, Kevin, the Texans rookie quarterback Tom Savage, understandably frustrated after that last turnover, but he has the support of his teammates as center Chris Myers came up to him for about 10 seconds, gave him a pep talk. Arian Foster telling him it's going to be okay. And keep in mind, guys, they don't really have a backup for him. I was told their punter Shane Leckler might be next in line.
Tom Savage is from Springfield, Pennsylvania. He attended 3 different schools. Rutgers, Arizona, finished up at Pitt. It is a 1st and 10 from his 23. There's a lead block by Plush, the fullback, and Foster works his way for about a yard to the 24.
Kevin, I don't care who plays quarterback for Houston. Arian Foster needs to be busier in this football game. Just 8 carries for 20 yards. I said in the open, I said he's got to have north of 30 for them to win. I mean, you got to get the running game cranked up. They're only down a touchdown. Foster needs to have more touches.
But just think, you mentioned the shrinkage of the game plan when you bring in a kid like this.
But you can't play scared. You can't coach scared. The quarterback will feel that. I think you still got to be able to go out and run the offense, but still feature Foster.
2nd down, 9, blocked by Brown at the tackle, and that's over the head of Hopkins. Uncatchable with the coverage by Vontae Davis. Coming in here, Texans had never won in Indianapolis. They lose their starting quarterback to, we think, a broken leg. All we've been told officially is that he is out with a leg injury.
And this is where Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, will try and confuse Tom Savage.
They'll disguise and camouflage.
They do a good job. And here comes pressure. Why not?
3rd and 9, Verner's coming. Look out! Down he goes! Rookie Jean-Francois. It's a sack in the first one by the Colts D with those sweet moves by Ricky Jean.
Well, Kevin, what do you expect's going to happen? I mean, they're going to bring pressure. They want to test this young quarterback to make sure he has answers. And so you're going to get a 5-man rush, 6-man rush. You've got to handle the pressure or you're going to see it all day.
Leckler. Flag is down. Here comes Cribbs with the head of steam. Brought down nicely on the play by Alfred Blue. At about the 48 with a 7-yard return.
Good field position.
39-yard punt by Shane Leckler.
Very uncharacteristic for my former teammate, Shane Leckler.
Yeah, you guys were together in Oakland, weren't you?
He's got 7 punts of 60 yards or more. It's the 2nd most in the NFL this season. He can still boom
During
it.
the kick, holding, return team number 27. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down, Indianapolis. Timeout.
Josh Gordon. Well, when you got moves like this, let the big man jiggle. Woo! Woo! Do it, Ricky Jean-Francois.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by TD Ameritrade. And by Cialis.
Monument Circle here in downtown Indy. If the Colts win today or tie, they capture the AFC South. It will be the 3rd consecutive 10-win season. 1st and 10. Luck. Heron chiseling his way with a Watt tackle at about the 37 on a gain of 5. You've always thought that the Colts, knowing Pep Hamilton and their quarterback, were big on matchups.
Yeah, they love, they're always confident, I think, Kevin, with their matchups, regardless of who they play. They want to dictate how the game is played, and I think Pep Hamilton does a great job utilizing all the talent he has available. If you're dressed on game day, there's a really good chance you're going to be involved in the game plan. 7 different receivers have already touched the ball.
2nd down and 5. They've got 8 players with 20 or more receptions. The only offense in the NFL with those kind of numbers. Here comes Reed. There goes the throw on a cross. There goes a flag. So the catch was made by Wayne. The tackle was made by Jackson. The gain is to the 43 and a pickup of 5.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 25. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, 1st down.
This is the #1 offense in the NFL. Number 2 in points.
Yeah, really some real firepower there, some real horsepower. A lot of it, Kevin, I think, starts with the quarterback. They don't run the football well. The offensive line is okay, not great. The quarterback is what makes it happen here in Indy.
Heron on 1st and 10. to the 49. Back to the secondary. Met Kendrick Lewis. Gain of 6. And they don't have Ahmad Bradshaw anymore, who is such a versatile guy in the backfield, to accent Luck.
Well, they really missed him. You know, they lost him in the middle of November. That really hurt. You lose his explosiveness. And certainly, I think, Kevin, the big thing was the production in the passing game, especially on third down and in the red zone. Or that responsibility is falling on Huron.
2nd and 4. Chasing him again, Watt. Herring down the sideline. Coverage by the safety, Swearinger. Incomplete, 3rd and 4. Watt was pressuring.
Well, he is relentless and churlish. He's going to have his work cut out for him. But the thing that J.J. Watt does a terrific job of is chasing plays down, even runs that go opposite him. He's so good at closing on the backside.
5th player with at least 50 sacks in 51 games in his first 4 years. A lot of numbers. All it adds up to is he's great. No sacks today, 3rd and 4. They passed on every 3rd down today. Here comes Watt. There goes Luck. That is sack number 15. First by Watt, a one-man wrecking crew. Back to the 37. They got a punt.
Well, he starts him upfield, and then he's going to whip back underneath. And you know he's done this a couple times now, where he started to tackle up the field, and then he beats him back across his face. Great quickness. He's got that arm over move, and Luck just simply is fooled. Happens too quick.
5 and punt with McAfee to punt. Length, hang time, you name it. Oh, it's a good one. It'll be inside the 20 for sure. Keyshawn Martin was back there for the Texans. Out of bounds at the 12. A beauty by McAfee. Thursday, the Titans will take on the Jaguars in an AFC South clash at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live on NFL Network. Then a special Saturday edition of Thursday Night Football. First, the Eagles and Redskins, 4 o'clock Eastern on NFL Network. Then the Chargers-Niners on CBS and NFL Network. As you take a look at J.J. Watt, 25-year-old player who is incredibly disruptive. If he would win the Defensive Player of the Year award again, he'd be the 6th player to win it twice. LT won it 3 times. Lawrence Taylor with the Giants. He's on that kind of track. Savage replacing the injured Fitzpatrick from the 12, 1st and 10. This is Foster. Brought down by Jason Ankra. It is a gain of 4. He's up to the 16-yard line. We're going to hit the 2-minute warning here. 2 touchdown passes by the quarterback, Andrew Luck. The Verizon Halftime Report is coming up from our CBS studios in New York with JB and company. The Verizon Halftime from our CBS studios in New York. I want to correct something I just said. It was Jonathan Newsom who made that last tackle. My apologies. Jonathan Newsom made the stop the last time for the Indianapolis defense in the middle. 2nd down and 6. The timeouts 3 apiece from the 16. Foster with the Brown block. And then Newsom is back over there again, also chasing him down. With some nice defensive pressure on the far side, Butler. It is no gain on the play.
Now the Colts will use a timeout here on 3rd down. I mean, Arian Foster just helped them there running out of bounds. Colts want to get the ball back. They've got all 3 timeouts. Give Andrew Luck and this offense another opportunity to put points on the board before the half.
Landry had a hand on that last tackle. 3rd down and 6. Take a look at the line, anchored by Arthur Jones in the middle, Newsom on one side. Then Corey Redding on the other. 3rd and 6. Timeout, Houston.
Bill O'Brien didn't like it.
So Tom Savage has come in, taking the place of the injured quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, Kevin, his first throw was a good one. He had to avoid the rush, man. Nice throw down the field, but after that, they had some breakdown in the running game. Either he or Arian Foster goes the wrong way. They missed an exchange between himself and the back, and of course, you knew what the Colts were going to do. They pressured him on the very first 3rd down. The speed of the game right now, you and I were talking during the last break. I mean, it's speed in practice for Tom Savage, and the speed out here is like so significantly different. I mean, it's sped up, and I think that's what happens with these young quarterbacks. I mean, it's just going a million miles an hour. Makes it difficult to think out there.
Five in the secondary, 3rd and 6 for Savage. Going deep, looking for Hopkins. Double covered, and he got the ball. Near midfield. Toller was back there. Adams was coming from the side. And a terrific catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. 36-yard gain. First down.
Really nice throw here by Tom Savage, and I think he gets both feet in bounds. I love the call by Bill O'Brien. You're thinking something conservative on 3rd and 6, maybe screen, draw, shorter intermediate throw. He takes a shot down the field with his rookie quarterback.
Hopkins has 4 catches today. He just saw it for 70 yards. Foster in the backfield. 1st and 10. 2 timeouts. Foster, Brown with the block. And Hopkins trying to lay some wood outside on Davis. Running out of bounds, and the ball at about the 45-yard line. And a gain of 4 for Arian Foster with something to say to Vontae Davis.
We talked about the big games that he has had against the Colts. You go back and you study his career. 7 games against the Colts, he's averaged almost 125 yards a game on the ground.
7 100-yard games this season. Against Indy earlier this season, 109 with 2 TDs. He scored a touchdown in 7 consecutive games. 2nd down and 6. Foster, there's a hole. Brooks is helping opening up the guard. He's past the 40 and hanged by a couple right there at about the 41-yard line. That is a gain of 5 for Arian Foster at the bottom of the pile. They got Redding.
You know, the key for them is to have success on the early downs. Kevin, you and I did a Houston game a couple weeks ago when Fitzpatrick threw the 6 touchdowns against Tennessee. And they were so effective, especially early in that game on the early downs. They had a bunch of 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s. That's the MO. That they could convert these, but they have to be in this situation more often than not.
Savage 3rd and 1. He's being chased and he throws it away. It was Jonathan Newsom, a rookie out of Ball State, who was putting pressure on the other rookie, Savage out of Pitt. They were looking for Foster. It's incomplete.
Savage has to play faster, Kevin. Watch it come out from center. You got to come out with a sense of urgency. You've got to run. You know that you've got that end man on the line of scrimmage, Jonathan Newsom, who's unblocked. That's really a footwork-related issue with the quarterback. And again, it gets back to reps. He probably didn't rep that play in practice all week. You got to get your head around. You got to come out.
Oh, it's a fake to Blue, who is quickly brought down by Andrew Jackson. Jackson makes the stop. The personal protector, Alfred Blue, was there, who got the direct snap. And it is a turnover, not a turnover, but on downs. It goes back now to, they lose 2 on the play. And they're going to go to about the 42-yard line.
Boy, the Colts were ready for that, weren't they? They were not fooled. Really nice job by that punt return unit. So get a good look at the special team coordinator.
And Jackson, the rookie out of Western Kentucky.
That's a big stop. Now you give Andrew Luck the ball back with 57 seconds and 3 timeouts. Colts have scored 12 times in the final 2 minutes of the first half.
It's one of the best marks in the NFL. Richardson is in 1st and 10 and 3 timeouts. Sherless the block. Come on! Across the middle, they hit Fleener, who's grabbed by Danielle Manning. He's got the first down, being brought down about the 48. Gain of 10 on 1st down. There is a timeout taken by Indy. Tomorrow on CBS, a special holiday episode of NCIS Los Angeles. So full of surprises, everyone will be talking about it. It's a new NCIS Los Angeles. Tomorrow at 10/9 Central. Only CBS. Clock at 50 seconds. Luck with 2 touchdown passes today.
He's got the best field goal kicker in the business, Kevin. He hasn't missed all season. Adam Vinatieri.
In fact, he hasn't missed since December.
Key left.
33 straight.
It's December of last year.
He's made a bunch from 50. north of 50.
First and 10. Luck, Fleener dropped, bounced incomplete. Coverage by Manning in the secondary for the Houston Texans inside the 35.
Well, it's pretty good throw here. He puts it on Fleener. Nice job by Manning getting that left hand in there and ripping away the forearm of Kobe Fleener.
Manning's been around, 9th-year player. He's with the Bengals in the preseason, let go, re-signed in early September by this Houston team. Second down and 10. He got away from Watt. Flag is thrown. Going deep. Looking for Hilton. Knocked away and caught on the ricochet by Moncrief. That is a touchdown. But the flag is back at the 47. Bring it back. Manning was back there covering for the Houston Texans.
Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Left tackle Anthony Costanzo.
Well, you look at the left tackle, Costanzo. He's going to tackle him. J.J. Watt uses the same move he used on Charles on the other side. Watch this great concentration. I don't know. I can't tell if that touched the ground or not.
I can't either. You're right. So they push it back to the 42. It's second down and 20.
That's a big penalty, Kevin. Now you talk about field goal range. Got 34 seconds left, a couple timeouts. We've got some ground to make up to get back in the range of Adam Vinatieri.
Second down 20 from the 42. He's in. Watt again, second sack. Watt brings him down. 16 for the season. Back to the 35 and a loss of 7.
Well, this time he gets some help from his teammate. Good look at the TE game. You're going to see Reed goes first and Watt goes underneath.
That's amazing.
They've got 4 on 2. I mean, literally, you've got the center, the left guard, left tackle, and the back chipping, and he still gets home.
This is the end of the first half.
First half comes to a close, and both teams leave a couple timeouts on the board, and Watt has a couple of sacks, which keep the Texans close. Luck with 2 touchdown passes. And Chuck Pagano is standing by with our Lauren Gardner.
Well, Coach, the Texans now have a young quarterback in this game. How is that going to approach your approach in the defensively, in the second half?
We got to do a good job. Defense have done a great job of keeping him out of the end zone. Unfortunately, we had the 1 pick six, but he's a big, strong, pocket passer. We got to do a great job, tight coverage. Don't give up big plays. Continue to stop the run, but then make sure if we do get him, we got to corral him. He's a big guy. He's like a Roethlisberger type guy, so we got to do a great job there.
Thanks, Coach.
Texans have never won in Indianapolis. They've lost their starter, Ryan Fitzpatrick. If the Colts win, they win the division. We'll take a break and take you to New York. It's a halftime 14-7 Indianapolis lead on CBS. Texans got on the board on a pick six. 2 touchdown passes by Andrew Luck. That is our halftime score. Taking a look at the Bows game changer. Luck finding Hakeem Nicks for a touchdown.
Yeah, big one, Kevin, on third down. Little crossing route. Nicks does the rest. Luck didn't get off to a good start, but he really settled in there in the second quarter.
12 straight losses by this Houston team here in Indy. Now without Ryan Fitzpatrick. Walk me through the second half of the Texans.
Well, Kevin, they've got to be able to crank up the production in the running game with Arian Foster. Just 33 yards on the ground. They need to run the ball well enough so that they force the Colts to come down and play extra defenders around the line of scrimmage. That'll free up the one-on-one matchups outside for DeAndre Hopkins. But they've got to stay in some manageable situations on third down with the rookie quarterback. That's going to be key.
Force some turnovers and things like that. As we take a look at the statistics, we've already seen 2 J.J. Watt sacks. We've seen 2 turnovers by the Colts. So
that's how they lose the game if you're the Colts. You better have a plan for J.J. Watt. He's already had 2 sacks. He could be disruptive. He can take the football away and score with it. We've seen that enough today. You can't allow him to have that impact in the second half.
With the opening kickoff by McAfee. Manning in the end zone. Let's go downstairs to Lauren Gardner.
Well, Kevin, I spoke with a very calm Texans head coach, Bill O'Brien, who told me Tom Savage is a smart kid. We plan to adjust our offense a little bit and simplify the playbook, but he can handle it. He told his team, guys, we're down by 7. We have to play our best football, but we can do this.
Well, it takes leadership from a lot of different places, including even if you're a rookie who's not taking a snap until today in the NFL, or at least on a pass.
And you can't hide him. He's going to have to make a play along the way.
It's Foster on 1st and 10, trying to bring it up and brought down on the play. Linebacker Jarrell Freeman, who's from Waco, Texas. It's a gain of 2 to the 22.
Well, the Colts have done a really nice job, Kevin, with their run defense. And look at Jarrell Freeman and the rest of that group. D'Qwell Jackson. It's a good look at Greg Minuski. He told us on Friday, he said, I have to make this team one-dimensional. And that starts with stopping the run.
Flag has been thrown. DeVere Posey just ran off the field.
Yep,
there it is.
Offense, 12 men in the huddle. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
He's been inactive all year. Active today because Andre Johnson is out. As you take a look at the first half resume of the Texans.
Yeah, not very good, right? Too many punts and a fumble and turn the ball over on downs and just not a lot of explosive plays. And they're going to need, we talked about Arian Foster, but at some point, without their best receiver, Andre Johnson, they've got to be able to throw the ball down the field.
Pitch out Foster from Savage. Hit by Redding. Savage will throw a block. It's a 2nd and 13, and as he spins his way back to the 21, he picks up 4 in the play and tackled by Vontae Davis.
It's a lot of running, Kevin, for a small gain.
No.
But, I thought it was interesting just in talking to the coaching staff in Indy about the keys to containing Arian Foster. And he said, we've got to build a fence. We need all 11 players to play with their eyes and be disciplined, because all Arian Foster needs is a little crease. And a lot of those creases show up backside when he cuts.
With 5 in the secondary for Indy, 3rd and 9 for Houston. Walden got off early. Foster across the middle, shy of the first, hit by D'Qwell Jackson. He is about a yard short, picks up 8 on 3rd and 9. They'll punt.
And this is where I think Arian Foster can help you, Kevin, not just in terms of the running game, but in the passing game. Getting that matchup on a linebacker or a safety.
He's caught 33 passes this season for Houston. 3 and out. Leckler to punt. Cribbs, they're caught 19-yard line. Time of 4.9, 52-yarder. Luck has thrown 2 touchdown passes. 12:53 in the 3rd. If you look at that graphic right there, it looks like the Colts make some pretty good adjustments at halftime.
They really do, Kevin. Look, they've scored on six touchdowns on the first half. First possession of the second half. Do a really nice job, I think, scaling back and really focusing in on some concepts that they think they can have some success with in the second half.
Richardson for 4 to the 24. Look at Chuck Pagano. And this is what the first half looked like, with a couple of touchdown passes by Luck and a pick 6, too.
Yeah, kind of similar to what we saw last week against Cleveland. They didn't start well early, but then they found a way to kind of pump the brakes and turn the corner. And, of course, a couple big throws by Andrew Luck.
Lance Lewis has just come out. He's the starting guard today on the right side. Khalid Holmes has come in, played the last 2 weeks, had been inactive. Holmes, 11 consecutive weeks. 2 years out of USC. 2nd down and 6 for Luck. Uncatchable for T.Y. Hilton with the coverage on the play by Daryl Morris. Flag.
Really not surprised to see him bring
Personal
pressure.
foul, roughing the passer, contact the quarterback's neck, defense. Number 93, 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
That's Jared Crick in the middle who gets called for that and fuels the Colts.
Yeah, you know what happens is you make a change, Kevin, as you point out, up front along that offensive line at the guard position, and and Houston decides to heat you up inside. The changes inside along that Colts offensive line have hurt. At center, at both guard positions. See the hit on Andrew Luck.
Right guard Lewis back out there. Number 60, 1st and 10. Richardson, Muhammad sticks him. And he gains about a yard on the play. He looks heavy to me, Richardson does.
Well, Kevin, you know, you don't think a lot about the difference 6 or 7 pounds can make with a running back, but I think there are certain backs, and I think that you look at Trent Richardson, I think he's one of them. I think that Eddie Lacy up in Green Bay, who's thinner and more streamlined this year. Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh. It's amazing what an extra 6 or 7 pounds can do and how it can hurt you in the running game.
2nd and 9, Luck. Richardson the block. Underneath, Wayne. Brought down by Swearinger, about the 46. Gain of 7. JB's with Tony Gonzalez in New York with an update.
All right, Kevin, and it's New England.
Yeah, you're going to see Tom Brady's going to turn around and hand the ball off to LeGarrette Blount. He's going to take it 3 yards for the touchdown. New England up 21-13.
Back to Kevin, Rich, and Lauren.
How about Blount? What a nice pickup for Belichick in New England.
One team kicks him to the corner, and he comes in and he helps his former team from a year ago.
Yeah, he knows.
I mean, he's got fresh legs. He's a big, powerful runner. Really helped the Patriots.
3rd down and 2.
Oh, here comes an all-out blitz.
You better believe it. Here they come. Reed from one side, knocked down by Crick. He got right in that passing lane. Also, Muhammad. Maybe Muhammad was the one to knock it down. Happened so bang bang. We'll find out again.
Man, they're going to bring everybody. I mean, there's nobody back here in the middle of the field. And Luck knows that he's got to get rid of it quick. It's tough when you're moving to your left, try to make that throw. Really nice job by that Houston defense.
McAfee to punt, number 3 in Gross, number 2 in net. Kicks this on the nose of the ball. Martin flagged. Down he goes. Hit by Sergio Brown. He's the one that took the place of LaRon Landry in the secondary when Landry was suspended. And Gene Steratore. I forgot to mention, his dad, Steratore's dad, was a longtime official. He is, of course, both college basketball and the NFL, and his son.
Runs in the blood.
It's 3 generations of Steratores.
And he's a good one.
His brother's a back judge.
Return team, number 20. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. 1st and 10, Houston. Timeout.
One of the best guys doing what he does, Gene Steratore. We'll take a break. Look at Tom Savage, 10:36 to play in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. The all-new Volkswagen Golf family, 2015 Motor Trend Car of the Year. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Well, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, we wish you a happy holiday season from all of us at CBS. After the punt, Houston 1st and 10, Foster. He zigs, he zags, and he's in the secondary, and he's brought down by LaRon Landry. And it is a gain of 6 on the play. This was the Ryan Fitzpatrick first half injury. Watch the left leg.
Yeah, that's not good. It's ugly. You feel bad for Ryan Fitzpatrick. He knew right away, Kevin. You see him go down.
Sure does.
Reach out for that lower left leg. It's a guy that was really playing well for him here the last couple weeks.
It's 2nd down and 4. Foster. Walden was there, got him up high at the 13-yard line. Fitzpatrick and his wife expecting their 5th child, he told us, this spring. We've known him for, we've talked to him when he was a Ram, when he was a Bengal, when he was a Buffalo Bill.
He's been resilient, Kevin. He's been on 5 different teams in 10 seasons. He's never really, I think, had the opportunity to grow in one system. But in talking to Bill O'Brien last night, he had a lot of nice things to say about Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's been a good fit in their system. And now the onus falls on the rookie quarterback. He's going to have to make some plays here in the second half.
Well, he's got a 3rd and 5 right here. Walden is coming. Brown got him. Flag is thrown. Outside Griffin. He's got the first down, or close to it. They say he stepped out of bounds at the 16. Ryan Griffin out of UConn.
They're going to get Eric Walden for jumping the gun.
I thought so too. And Brown still did a good job at that left tackle, getting him.
Offside. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, he's their best pass rusher right now. You know, he leads the team with 6 sacks.
Or he's holding on to the dreads. See him holding on to his hair?
Well, he's not going to let his quarterback get in.
Where are your dreadlocks?
I don't have them. I cut them off for the game.
Oh, good. We'll see. He should do the same.
Dwayne Brown's a smart player. He knows that after Tom Savage, they've got to turn to Shane Leckler, their punter, to play quarterback.
There's a 1st and 10. Leckler played high school quarterback in Texas, jumping on him to Quell Jackson. Foster picks up 5, out to the 24. JB and Tony G in New York.
Key play on a touchdown drive.
Yeah, you're going to see Joe Flacco take the play action pass here, throw it down the field. He's going to hit Owen Daniels, makes the diving catch for 29-yard completion. Next play, Owen Daniels scored the touchdown. Baltimore up.
Back to Kevin Harlan.
That's a former Texan tight end. Here comes Foster, galloping into Toller. And out of bounds. Helped by a couple, including Jackson. That's the kind of running they need from Arian Foster. An 18-yard run. He's up to the 42.
Well, just when you think you've got him bottled up. Poor angle by the safety there. And Adams and the stiff arm. The Colts talked all week, Kevin, about Arian Foster's stiff arm. It worked all week at knocking it down and getting on his legs. He does a great job with that opposite arm.
Alfred Blue, the 6th-round rookie, will take it as he meets Zach Kerr, rookie free agent from Delaware. Gain of 4.
Fighting Blue Hen.
Do you know anybody from Delaware?
I know a lot of great NFL players from Delaware.
Well, we just saw
Joe
one.
Flacco.
Yeah, and there was a former MVP out of Delaware.
Watch Foster. Look at that. I mean, look at the strength in that left arm. He literally takes Toller and knocks him back.
2nd and 6. Base D for Indy. After 5 straight runs. Outside, see, it opens up things, loosens up Ryan Griffin on the side. And he was across the way, and he was covered by Werner, who was a linebacker. Gain of 3, up to the 49.
Kevin, confidence is so important.
It is,
for a young
you always
quarterback.
talk about that.
And, you know, just finding a couple throws, a couple easy completions. Now he's getting a feel for the game a little feel for the speed.
Colts, by the way, the number 1 3rd down defense coming into today in the NFL.
That's really where they spend a lot of time, Kevin. They do a great job getting off the field on 3rd down.
Up, look out, hold on, and down. Werner, sack. He's a former 1st-round pick out of Florida State, comes up with his 5th sack of the season. It's a loss of 7. Just like that, they got a punt.
Well, they don't even block the end man on the line of scrimmage. I don't know how this happens. I mean, that's bad football when you don't block Werner.
But that's a quarterback getting his proper protections, correct?
Yeah, well, what happens is they've got a squeeze call because they've got those both A-gaps mugged, and they turn the end man on the line of scrimmage loose.
They're going to blow that dead.
We're going to reset, replay 4th down. The umpire was not in a position to officiate. Please set the clock to 25 seconds.
I don't know if he was mad when he said that or not.
Wasn't in a position to officiate. That's a nice way of saying, get yourself where you're supposed to be. So we'll have to stop the game. You and I had a great visit with him last night. He's terrific.
He is wonderful.
He's got a great sense of humor, and he's got a great crew, Kevin. I anticipate a lot of these members of this crew will work a playoff game.
Well, last year, the 2013 crew had the distinction of being the only one of the 17 NFL crews where every official received a playoff assignment. That's how good this crew is. The ball dies at the 22, a 35-yard punt. We have 6:20 in the 3rd. Luck with 2 touchdown passes. He's got a blue hat, blue shirt, blue bride, blue beer. Hey, tonight, are dangerous mentally ill patients denied care? 60 minutes investigation. Tonight only CBS. After a punt, here comes Luck with the 1st and 10.
There's 70! For 7!
Signs of the block. Here comes Luck. He needs the 31. Shy of it. Joseph saw to that. He was waiting right there. Gain of 6. He is more Elway than he is almost anything else, isn't he?
Yeah, I haven't never heard that comparison, Kevin, but I think there's some truth to that.
Well, am I right or am I just guessing?
You're right.
Okay.
Yes, sir. No, you know what? I think he's a very good runner. He seems to make a few first downs every week with his legs, especially down in the red zone. And he's smart. He knows where those first down markers are. He's pretty good at protecting himself and not taking the big hit.
He's got Herron in there right now. 2nd and 4.
That shoulder throw.
It's going for Hilton in the coverage by Jonathan Joseph. It'll be 3rd and 4. Hilton today, Rich, 4 catches, 50 yards.
Well, what they haven't been able to do with T.Y. Hilton, Kevin, is get him loose down the field. I mean, he's the big play threat. 17 receptions of 25 yards or more from T.Y. Hilton this year. That's the most in the league. Houston has done a nice job keeping the lid on T.Y. Hilton.
You're right, and those numbers showed it. 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Luck throwing the ball. 3rd and 4. Watt against Sherrillis. That's caught by a nice catch by Richardson. Breaking tackles he got by Swearinger. Ran into Manning. He has a 1st down catch and run. Up to the 43, 16-yard pickup. Nice play by Trent Richardson.
Kevin, this is not an easy catch. You're going to see Trent Richardson. He just runs a little flat right out of the backfield. This is a difficult catch, and he's able to squeeze. Look how strong he is with those hands. Makes it very difficult on DJ Swearinger.
He had a hamstring in late October. He's almost, it seems like, not even really regained what he once was after he's come back from that. 1st and 10. Herron. Ooh, he'll slither up. Brought down by Crick near midfield. Mark him at the 49. It is a pickup of 6.
Well, I love when he gets the ball, Herron, and they all... It's not booing. It's that boom.
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 Boom, Herron. If the Colts win today or tie, they capture the AFC South. They've won 11 consecutive games against division members. And they have shut out the Texans, who have never won in Indy. 0 for 12. 2nd and a long 4. Texans trying to stay in the playoff mix. 7 and 6 coming in. Luck. And that was floated in back of Moncrief with the coverage by A.J. Boye. It's the Chiefs, it's the Raiders, it's JB and Tony Gonzalez.
Tony's old team getting it done.
Yeah, right here. This touchdown run by Nile Davis, 3-yard. It caps off a 9-play, 70-yard touchdown drive. Kansas City controlling the clock. They go up 17-6.
Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
Kansas City hanging on, much like the Texans. They've lost a couple in a row, the Chiefs.
They're a resilient team, too, Kevin. Andy Reid does a great job. Got a quarterback in Alex Smith who makes pretty good decisions.
Smart, isn't it?
You always have a chance with the guy who takes care of the football.
3rd and 4. And looking for Hilton. Coverage on the play by Jackson. This defense of Houston has just got a different edge to him since the quarterback Fitzpatrick was knocked out of the game. They've responded defensively.
Well, look at the coverage. They're all playing man-to-man coverage. Go ahead and run it. Now, you tell me if you're Andrew Luck, right here, go ahead and freeze it. Where are you going to throw the football? I mean, where? Everybody is covered. They've done a really nice job in their man-to-man concepts down the field.
McAfee, number 1, getting the ball inside the 20-yard line in the league. He was the September AFC Special Teams Player of the Month. He's got 3 inside the 20 this afternoon. Now he's got 4 from the 11-yard line. Fair caught. Keyshawn Martin, 39-yarder.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. The world needs more Straight Talk. And by McDonald's, official sponsor of the NFL. I'm loving it.
That's the state capitol. It's here in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's a little cold and gray outside. Festive inside. Colts, Texans, late 3rd. 1st and 10. Fitzpatrick out with the leg injury from the 11. Not jumping off there was Phillips. Foster dancing down, but it's not going to matter because unless he was induced, but I'm guessing he jumped off.
Well, the pre-snap penalties right now are really hurting the Colts on defense.
Offside. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
John Phillips was with Denver a season ago and began this year and played half the season with Tennessee.
You get antsy, just get in there. You want to rush. You want to make a big play. You want to contribute. Good look at Greg Minuski.
On the headsets, talking to his
former teammate of mine.
He was,
in Minnesota,
I remember
Kansas
that.
City. Smart guy. That. He could play all three of the linebacker positions.
1st and 5. Foster. Wrapped up, not much there. It's the Dolphins and Patriots. They're playing in Foxborough. Let's go to New York. JB and Tony.
The guy that Tony talked to this week.
Yeah, this comes off a Patrick Tongue interception. You guard this man one-on-one. This is what happened as Gronkowski gets the 27-yard touchdown. New England starting to pour it on 31-13.
And he told Tony Gonzalez he likes to have fun. That was fun there. Back, Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
Boy, when Gronkowski is healthy, that offense is different.
You can't block Watt and you can't cover Gronkowski. That's, I mean, honestly, that's been a big story this year in the NFL.
Big men who can move like little men. 2nd and 1. There's Foster. Looks like he's dug his way for the first down. Tripped up on the play by Freeman. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle was writing a story about J.J. Watt, and he was talking about the MVP possibility. And he said, you know, sometimes you got to be really a legitimate guy, got to be in the playoffs, because historically it's gone to an offensive player. And it's going to be tough for Watt as a defensive player to get it.
Well, Kevin, I have one of those votes, and I've got him up there really, really high.
Not surprised. 1st and 10. Foster again. And hit once again in the middle by defensive lineman Zach Kerr. So you got your own guys MVPs.
Well, let's start with number 5, Andrew Luck. 4,300 yards passing this year, 36 touchdowns. Second guy, DeMarco Murray, over 1,600 yards. He's averaging 5 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns. How about Tom Brady? 30 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And number 2 on my list right now, J.J. Watt, 14 and a half sacks. He's already scored 5 touchdowns, but Aaron Rodgers, Kevin, 35 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. No one is playing better than Aaron Rodgers.
We have had a couple of defensive MVPs in the league. Alan Page, Lawrence Taylor. 2nd down and 9. Oh, and he's got Devere Posey, who makes the grab on Vontae Davis. He stayed in bounds. He's into Colt territory at the 47. It is a grab of 29 and a first down. What a throw. And Posey, who's been inactive all year, with the catch.
Well, a really nice throw, and I think he gets both feet in bounds, absolutely. And the one thing that we've seen from Tom Savage, Kevin, he really throws the deep ball well. I think they have to do more of it. They're getting a lot of man-to-man coverage. They've got to take advantage of some of the matchups.
Well, that's all you see from the Colts for the most part, right? Man-to-man.
A ton of it.
Savage is 5 of 8. With the 1st and 10. Here they go with Foster. Corkscrews his way into the grasp of Jackson. Down to the 40. Pickup of 7. See, now Foster's picking up some steam.
Yeah, he is. And you know, he's doing a good job keeping him fresh. They're going to need him in the 4th quarter. But, you know, Bill O'Brien told us last night he really loves the character, the chemistry, the makeup of this football team. They've been a tough group. Essentially, this is a playoff game for Houston. They trail the Colts by 2 games in the AFC South, and they're also down a tiebreaker. They've got to find a way to come away with a W.
2nd down, 3. Blue collides with Waldman. And Walden knocked him off his horse, but a gain of 6. He's down to the 34. It is another first down for Houston. Like we said before, this team runs the ball more than any other in professional football.
Do a really nice job on the front side, and a lot of these runs, regardless of whether it's Arian Foster or Alfred Blue, they find themselves winding it backside, and that's where sometimes the big creases are against this Colts defense.
7th play of the drive. It took over at the 11. Foster blocked by Blue, chased on the play by Freeman. Brought down. Jarrell Freeman makes the stop at the 31. Gain of 3. We go to the 4th. Texans on the move. Down by 7 on CBS. Pretty simple for the Colts. A win or a tie. They captured the AFC South title. But the Texans, who are within 1 game if they win the game, would have a lot to say. Coming off a 2-14 season, Bill O'Brien and his team gutting it out, playing rugged ball, losing their starting quarterback And for the most part, Rich, not blinking.
No, they really haven't. And I think that Savage has gained some confidence. But look at that. No offensive touchdowns in the last 8 quarters here in Indy.
Blue is in. Foster's on the move. 2nd and 7. Blue. Freeman wraps his wrist up around his waist. It's down to the 26 on a gain of 5. Freeman with the stop.
Well, plays that look the same that are different. We saw Foster come in short motion a few plays ago. They actually handed him the ball. Now he's nothing more than a diversion. They hand the ball to Alfred Blue.
So it's not a read option. What would you call that kind of offense?
That's a call. It was a call it and run it. But again, plays that look the same. So you get the Colts chasing Foster one way. You hand the ball to Blue.
Savage is a big rascal. Takes it on 3rd and 2. Picks up 1. He's just about the 25.
And Kevin, you and I were just talking a moment ago off the air about the opportunity. What a tremendous opportunity for Tom Savage. Mallett went down a couple weeks ago. Fitzpatrick has played the majority of the snaps this year. But they've got to find out. The Houston Texans have to find out who their quarterback is going to be next year. You drafted Savage in the 4th round. What a great opportunity for this youngster here the next couple weeks to show what he's capable of.
Rich, they're going for it on 4th and 1. And this is the #1 4th down offense in the NFL. 10 of 14. Savage. Pitch, blocked by Brown, 1st down right there. Hopkins a block, he'll be in. Foster for 6, but a flag has been thrown. .25 yards could be wiped away, and 6 on the board.
Holding. Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
That's Posey.
There's really no reason for it, Kevin. He's the end man on the line of scrimmage, and you got him outflanked. Just don't grab him. Move your feet, put your helmet across his chest, and make the block.
But it was the right call.
Oh, it was the right call, but I mean, those are killers. I mean, we just showed a graphic. They haven't scored a touchdown in 2 games here.
Posey had grabbed a 29-yard pass on this drive, which got him this very good field position. They're going to try for 3 now because it's 4th and 11 as opposed to 4th and 1. 53-yard try by Bullock coming up.
What a costly mistake at a critical juncture in the game.
I don't know, with the division title on the line, if many people would have given the Texans losing the starting quarterback this much, but they played well. A 53-yarder is right down the middle. And the score is closer. 13-40 in the 4th. Posey was good and bad on that drive. He caught the long pass, but he commits the penalty. Bullock from 53. They get a 53-yard field goal, and first-year head coach Bill O'Brien to within 4 on the road late in the year, with the playoffs very much in the mix.
Yeah, they're fighting and clawing and everything they can, Kevin. They lose their starting quarterback. They've got a young guy in there, a rookie.
Bullock in cribs. Does it look like he's going to bring it out? 8 yards deep. Here he comes. Oof. Nice hit there by Akeem Dent out of Georgia. 33-yard return. 13-34 in the 4th. Here comes Luck. 15 continues later today on Fox. Then tonight with Sunday Night Football. Then tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN and Westwood One Radio. We'll have the call for you with Kurt Warner from NFL Network. Kurt now will be there in Soldier Field. Big game for the Saints. 1st and 10. Herring dancing by Watt. And grabbed by Brooks Reed. Thrown for a loss of 4. He's back to the 21-yard line.
Well, nowhere to go there. To run the opposite direction. It's asking for trouble. When you run away, it sounds crazy. When you run away from J.J. Watt, he does such a great. It's almost impossible to block on the backside. It's a great job splitting double teams, and he's relentless in his pursuit. He takes these flat line angles down around the line of scrimmage. You're better off running at him.
Well, logic tells you, though, run away from it, but that's not the case, is it?
No.
2nd and 14. Luck stands in there strong. They were going for Moncrief. The coverage on the play by Lewis, the free safety. It is incomplete in 3rd and 14. Lewis has a pick 6 on Luck already today.
Well, just keep an eye on the good and run it. Look at at the end of this route, you're going to see Lewis come flying in here. Does a great job There he comes right there. Just a great job undercutting the route and getting himself underneath Dante Moncrief.
T.Y. Hilton at the top of your screen has been shut out this half. 3rd and 14. Let's see what he does here. Luck. And looking for Wayne. Coverage by the linebacker, and good it was. Mike Muhammad. 3 and out. That's a linebacker working on a receiver. Regardless of how old he is, that's a tough matchup, and he played it well.
He ran all the way from the line of scrimmage. He just runs down the field. He's not even really playing the ball. He's smart enough that he pulls off. And he doesn't grab the receiver, doesn't panic.
It's McAfee with Martin back at about the 32. Keyshawn Martin out of Michigan State from his 20. Hang time of 4-8. Walked down by McNary, who makes the stop. A flag has been thrown. McNary is a Houston kid, number 57. Played at Clear Lake High School in the Houston area. 59-yard punt, 8-yard return. Terrific hang. Sterator will visit. Most of you know they got those microphones now. They can all talk to
During
each
the
other.
return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 50. 10-yard penalty. First down, Houston.
It's a special Saturday edition of Thursday Night Football. First, the Eagles take on the Redskins, 4 o'clock Eastern, NFL Network. Then, Chargers-Niners on CBS and NFL Network.
You know, Kevin, Bill O'Brien has to be pleased with the way his defense has played in this game. They have played well enough to keep him in it. I mean, the offense has had their struggles, but I mean, we're into the 4th quarter now, and the Colts have been able to muster just 14 points. They've done a nice job getting off the field on 3rd down.
It is the #1 offense in the NFL of Indianapolis. So you're right, and that's a solid expression by you. 1st and 10. Look out. Here comes Studebaker. There goes Savage. Incomplete. Foster. The coverage by Butler. Flag has been thrown. And Andy Studebaker just drilled the quarterback Savage. And here come the reactions from the sellout here in the Dome.
A defensive holding.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 28. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Is Toller watching Hopkins again, Rich? Because Toller's been on Hopkins most of the day.
Well, it's actually away from the play.
Yeah, down here at the bottom.
Yep. You see Studebaker comes in and hits him right in the ribs. Ooh.
Hopkins has been shut out in this half, too. And he's not been targeted. Tom Savage, 4th-round rookie pick, Pittsburgh. 1st and 10. And his misdirection. There's a nice stop. That's Studebaker coming up and getting Alfred Blue. Gain of 2 to the 21.
Well, let's take a look at the checklist, Kevin. We talked about how important it was for the Texans to have success running the ball. Foster with 86 yards. They have forced a turnover and actually scored defensively. Look at the Colts on the other side of it. They've not done a good enough job, I think, accounting for J.J. Watt. And finally, look at the production there. They've done a nice job keeping a lid on Arian Foster and DeAndre Hopkins in the passing game.
Watt, by the way, with 2 sacks today. 2nd down and 8. Oh, flag thrown there. That's a false start.
False start. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's the center.
That's unusual, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Center.
Chris Myers, he's a good one, Kevin. You know that. He's a former Pro Bowler.
Now, Rich, with the new quarterback, perhaps the different cadence.
Absolutely. You've got a guy, a different cadence, different snap count. It sounds a little bit different. Sometimes a slight pause between the hut-hut. Just a little thing like that can throw off a veteran like Chris Myers.
Martin and Damaris Johnson have come in, so 4 all told at the receiver position for Savage, 2nd and 13. With Foster at his side. Savage to Hopkins. Flag has been thrown. The coverage on the play by Vontae Davis. Flag is at about the 14-yard line.
Offside. Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Andy Studebaker. And yes, he is a distant relative to those Studebakers.
It was your first car, wasn't it, a Studebaker,
Yeah,
Kevin? Did you have the old 58 Studebaker? Back there in high school?
Yeah,
That old jalopy?
back in the 30s. Second down and 8.
These receivers, they have to win against all this press man-to-man coverage.
He's got Damaris Johnson.
He's still going.
He is still going and out of bounds. He now finally goes. Toller was one of the guys to make sure he was out of bounds. He was let go by Philadelphia. He picks up 15 on the catch and run. He's up to the 36. First down.
Well, Johnson, not very big, 5'8", 175 pounds, but he's very quick. And you see Darius Butler there, he's struggling with the smaller receiver. The different world inside. When you go inside in the slot, play in there and cover in there, it's different.
But keep your head on a swivel, though.
Oh, my goodness. A lot of things happen inside, and they're not all good.
No. First and 10. Zarian Foster. Hit by Freeman. Ricky Jean-Francois was there up to the 42-yard line, 6-yard gain. NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com today to save 20% and get free shipping over $50 at the official store of the NFL. Chuck Pagano and Bill O'Brien, former coach at Penn State. He was with Belichick in New England. O'Brien was. Savage has hit his last 4. Second and 4. Foster into a pile. We were asking him, in fact, about practices, Houston practices. He says, in New England, O'Brien was saying, we practiced hard, but it looked pretty. So far here, we practice hard, it's not necessarily pretty.
Well, you know, and a lot of that, Kevin, has to do with Tom Brady, right? The precision. But, you know, you look at this time of possession. I also, Bill O'Brien said to us last night, they are perfect 7-0 when they win the time of possession. And this was going to be a big part of the formula for success. Keeping this Colts offense off the field and grinding out yards on the ground.
It's 3rd and 3, a pretty important play right here. Savage, and it's caught by Hopkins, who steps right in front of Toller to the 49-yard line, pick up 9. Savage right on the money.
Well, you're not lying, Kevin. This is a really good route by Hopkins. Patient. He knows it's going to be a back shoulder throw, but watch the quarterback. What I like about this throw is some confidence from the quarterback, sitting there in the pocket in the midst of the rush and making a good, accurate throw.
Hopkins playing because Andre Johnson is out, concussed from last week. Third down reception by DeAndre Hopkins today. A little miscommunication, stiff arming his Foster and crawls his way into the grasp of Adams. Gain of 5 to the 43, and the clock continues to tick, and 8.5, and we're rolling.
And this quarterback almost misses this snap. You go back and you look at it from the end zone. Just watch, he's not getting around far enough. And look, he almost misses the exchange. I mean, we're seeing too much of this from the Houston Texans.
But still, Rich, I mean, it's amazing that things have been this settled with this kid not having thrown a pass in the NFL until
Absolutely,
today.
but we've seen the ball on the ground once already, Kevin, and they missed an exchange.
2nd down 5, Alfred Blue. Blocked up front by Ben Jones. The gain to the 42. Hit by a couple, including Freeman. It's a gain of a yard. Another big 3rd down.
Big, big, big.
Okay, they had a player down, and that was Corey Redding. Savage will come over and talk to his sideline. Guys on the headsets upstairs. How much do they really get from upstairs, Rich, in those headsets, and the observers at the top of the building talking to the guys on the sideline?
Well, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot that goes into communication. You know, you look at the play caller, it's substitutions, it's what they're doing, and in these situations, hey, we're in a 3rd and medium situation. Give me the last 4 or 5 coverages in 3rd and medium. What are we getting in those situations? What are we getting versus Zebra, our 3 wides package? Tell me. So that's going to help me make that call. But that's a big part of it, Kevin, that communication. Same thing with Minuski. Minuski's got somebody upstairs, the defensive coordinator. He's got somebody tell me who's coming on the field. What's the personnel? What have we been getting on 3rd down? So all that goes into your computer as you begin to send in these these calls in these critical situations.
A lot going on. 3rd and 4. They need the 38. Johnson in motion. Savage. His receiver got caught up in the coverage by Toller. They were going for DeAndre Hopkins. Just inside the 30-yard line on the near side on the 3rd and 4. 4th and 4 for Houston.
Well, they're not on the same page. You watch the receiver now. He's going to run the stop route, and the quarterback throws the go route. And then at the end of the route, see, quarterback's thinking he's going deep. And at the end of the route, the receiver signals back to the quarterback what he thought was the appropriate adjustment.
6 defensive backs. 4th and 4. They need the 38. Savage. Incomplete. Hopkins again. Toller again covering on the play and on downs. The Texans turn it over to the Colts. 7:14 in the 4th from Indy on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts. Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Right now in our CBS studios in New York, we're putting together the Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowell. News, scores, highlights. You'll get it all on the Subway postgame report coming up after the game on CBS. This Colts offense has not looked in sync today, Rich.
No, especially not in the second half, Kevin. Only 36 yards of offense and 2 first downs here in the second half.
Yep.
Richardson to the backfield from the 42. They get it on downs. Second time that the Texans have given up the ball on downs in Colt territory today. Pickett can't get him, and he's finally tapped by Lewis. That's an 8-yard gain. We saw the opposing quarterback, Fitzpatrick, run earlier in the game, get injured. Media reports are now saying across the country it is a broken leg, although we cannot confirm at CBS. We've attempted to try to get that information, and we have not been able to get it yet. But that's what reports. NFL Network 1 reporting it's broken. 2nd down 2. In the pistol, Heron, the spinner, brought down by Muhammad to the 44 on a gain of 6 and a first down run for the Colts.
This is an important possession, Kevin, for the Colts. We talked about the numbers in the second half. They're struggling a little bit offensively, but good football teams don't let other teams hang around in the second half, and that's what they've done with the Houston Texans. Got to be able to put some points on the board in this drive.
Quick handoff, Heron. Brought down on the play by Swearinger at the 37-yard line of the Texans. That's a gain of 6. His role has increased to Daniel Heron. Chuck Pagano and his team now under 6 minutes away from winning another division title in the South. A look at Pep Hamilton. He's had to go over every square inch of that play sheet he's got in front of him today.
He's had to use it all, right?
Everything.
But we talked earlier. I mean, he's not shy.
2nd and 4. Heron again. Knocked down by Swearinger again. He's the second leading tackler. It's a gain of 7. He's got the first down. He's down to the 31-yard line of Houston.
Yeah. Let's take a look at, we talked about J.J. Watt. He's been quiet here in the second half. Well, he's getting double-teamed. This is a really good job by the right guard and the right tackle. I mean, they just push him back. Heron's had some big runs.
He's had 4 straight runs here on this drive.
160! What's up?
Heron, 1st and 10. Patient. Spinner off Joseph. Tackle made by Watt at the 23. Picks up 8. With corkscrew moves and a slippery style, this kid has been fun to watch.
Yeah, just they do a nice job with the tight end's going to come back and actually cut, and you see the ball wind back. A really nice job here by opening up the backside. You see the kick out there, and then Heron, he's right there to get up on the second level. A little misdirection and a nice job by Allen getting the kick out on J.J. Watt.
They've run almost 3 minutes off the clock on this drive right here.
50, Ace up. 56, Ace
Second down and 2. Two tights. Herring. Lewis will lead the way. Block also from Moncrief. So he's brought down in the secondary by Kendrick Lewis. It is a gain of 7. It is another first down. There may not be much left in the tank for the Texans. Down to the 15, first down, Indianapolis. First time today I can recall that the Texans are showing this kind of...
Well, they're getting worn down a little bit defensively, Kevin, and J.J. Watt huffing and puffing a little bit. That's demoralizing when you cannot stop the run late in the game. They've got to find a way to tighten up here defensively. They've got to hold them to a field goal. You hold them to a field goal, you're only down a score. So you give your offense a chance to get back on the field.
Now with multiple tight ends, Richardson in the backfield. It is a 1st and 10. Trent Richardson out of Alabama. Whoa. Look at him steamroll to the 6. He got by Pickett in the backfield. He takes it down to the 6. Brought down by Lewis. Pickup of 9.
Well, you'll see Lewis come around. He gets the kick-out block, and then Trent Richardson. This is why you have a back like Trent Richardson. He's a road grader. He's a finisher late in games. This is where he can do most of the damage.
Houston has taken the timeout. They use their first. 2 left, 3:13. Bill O'Brien's team coming in 7-6. Trailing Indianapolis by 2 games and the tiebreaker. On this drive, Rich, rushing yardage, okay, in succession. 8 yards, 6 yards, 6, 7, 8, 8, and 9 yards. The last one by Richardson, most of those by Herron.
Good offenses, Kevin. That's how they finish late in games. Talk about 4-minute offense, the ability to pack them in there and run the football with some attitude.
Attitude, you're right.
Kevin, Houston has to find a way to get a stop here and hold them to 3. If the Colts score and go up 2 scores, it's over. Houston, with the struggles that they're having offensively with the rookie quarterback, just not going to happen.
Second down, 1.
Hurry!
Richardson skips. Hit at the line. May have fallen forward for a half yard. There wasn't a whole lot there. Let's call it no gain. Let's say they stay at the 6-yard line. A bunch of guys were there, including Cushing getting off the bottom of the pile. And who else? Lewis.
The first 6 drives this half, and then this drive, Pep Hamilton's got a hot script.
He does, yeah.
A hot play sheet there.
With a lot of runs being called. Now they have 3rd and 1. They're the best team on 3rd and 1 this season in the league. 82%.
Second.
Look at the tight ends. Everybody bunched. 3rd and 1. Fake by Richardson. Read by Simon. Luck is down at the 11. Read well by Jackson, too. They came through. They throw him for a loss of 5. When they needed a big defensive play, they got it.
Well, really a nice job here on the backside by Simon. He doesn't go for the play fake. Very disciplined with his eyes. Luck's got nowhere to go. But that happens because of John Simon, the outside linebacker.
Look at Romeo Crennel.
Well, that is a big stop by Romeo Crennel and his unit. They did their job. Hold them to a field goal here. You give your offense at least a chance, Kevin, to get back in this game and tie it up.
Here is Adam Vinatieri. It is a 28-yard field goal. He has hit 33 consecutive field goals going back to last season. He hasn't missed since December 22nd of last year.
What are you saying? This is a formality with
Adam
Vinatieri?
I'm a dealer in fact, my friend.
That's it.
He's the only kicker in the NFL not to miss a field goal this season.
He's
29.
terrific.
He had 29-yarder.
He's like wine. Good Cabernet, gets better with age. 41 years old.
28 of 28 this season. 34 consecutive field goals by Adam Vinatieri. 19 years in the NFL. Many Super Bowl appearances and a big 3 right there. Well, coming up in the Subway postgame show from our CBS studios in New York, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Collins. Scores, news, highlights. It's all there for you on the Subway postgame show. Next. from New York. Kickoff by McAfee after Vinatieri knocked in a 29-yarder. Manning in the back of the end zone to a knee. Touchback to the 20, and here comes Tom Savage. A lot on his plate. 2:11 to go. Down by 7.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Intel. This is where it all changes. And by Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever.
Bill O'Brien's Texans have a timeout. They're down by 7. We've had 2 Luck touchdown passes. We've had a pick 6 of Luck. Andre Johnson is out. Devere Posey taking his place today. And from his 20, rookie Tom Savage out of Pitt. 4th-round pick in because Fitzpatrick was injured. 1st and 10. Pocket crumbling. And that was a pop fly. And Adams was circling under it, but away. It was intended for the tight end, Ryan Griffin. 2nd down and 10.
Well, Kevin, these are the situations you dream about as a young quarterback. A chance to be either the hero or the GOAT. I always say in these situations, young quarterbacks, you either feel the pressure or you apply it. We're going to see what Tom Savage is made of here. Great opportunity for the young signal caller.
5 defensive backs. Foster on 2nd and 10. Chased by Jackson. And brought down by Darius Butler after a gain of 4 to the 24. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Welcoming our new audience here to Indianapolis. A win or a tie. The Indianapolis Colts will capture the AFC South title again. They're 9-4 coming in. They've won 3 straight. Houston is 7-6, very much in the playoff mix, but they've lost here as a franchise 12 consecutive years. They've never won. Watt today has 2 sacks. The starting quarterback for Houston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, is out. Reports say broken leg. Now 3rd and 6. Tom Savage, the rookie out of Pitt, with his first passes coming today, is in the saddle and throws outside and caught by the backpedaling tight end Griffin. 1st down, picks up 7 on 3rd and 6. Markham to the 32, 31-yard line. One timeout, Colts have all 3. Foster on the ground, over 100 yards for the Texans today. 1st and 10, it's Foster. Chased by DeQuell Jackson, quickly runs out of bounds at the 39 and picks up about 7.
Well, you never go broke taking a profit. And just a little simple check down to Arian Foster. I'm surprised they haven't thrown the ball more to Arian Foster with Andre Johnson out of the lineup with the concussion. Get Arian Foster matched up on those linebackers.
Tom Savage, 2nd down and 3. 4 in the secondary. And dropped by Damaris Johnson with the coverage on the play by linebacker Bjorn Werner. It is 3rd and 3 for Houston.
Well, this one actually hits the receiver right in the chest, but a better throw probably gets it done. You've got the matchup you want. It's a little behind Johnson. Werner able to get a hand on it.
3rd and 3. Watch for Hopkins, number 10. He's had 3 third down receptions today. They need the 42. And going deep and looking for DeAndre Hopkins, and broken up. They had Sergio Brown and Vontae Davis deep back at about the 21. 4th and 3.
Well, this ball just hangs. It hangs enough that Sergio Brown's able to get over there, Kevin, and knock it out with his shoulder pad. Got the corner beat, but you can't hold the safety. Terrific play. Good adjustment there by Sergio Brown.
Final timeout used by Houston.
Well, they want to talk this one over, make sure they get it right.
Savage is limping off. They've lost their starter, Ryan Fitzpatrick. They had Ryan Mallett, but he tore a pec a couple weeks ago. And the big hit right here by Arthur Jones.
Oh, no, his knee gets snapped.
It sure did.
Oh, jeez. He's a tough guy. You see
Shane
Shane
Leckler, who was a high school quarterback in Texas.
He doesn't want any of that.
Many years ago. He doesn't want any part
I
of
know
that.
Shane. He's a good man. He's a tough guy. You point out, Kevin, he's probably going to be a Hall of Fame punter, but he doesn't have to go out there right now and throw a pass against this Indy defense.
Well, Leckler has thrown one pass on a fake this year, and he completed it.
Well, Kevin, you know that Savage can't move.
Right.
He's going to be a statue back there in the pocket. Very curious to see what Greg Manusky decides to do here. I anticipate pressure.
He's in pain. His first NFL game, and it's 4th and 3.
Here it comes.
Outside, high, picked off. Vontae Davis has just sealed a division championship for the Indianapolis Colts. Houston is out of timeouts. Colts will take over at the 40.
Kevin, Vontae Davis has had an outstanding game. He was out last weekend with the concussion. He just sits all over this route. He has done an outstanding job today against DeAndre Hopkins. He just undercuts it right there at the end. Really a terrific play by Vontae Davis. That's the second straight week this Colts defense has come up with a stop to seal the victory.
Point.
You know, last week it was
down to an Eagles. Luck, who today did not have spectacular numbers, 18 of 34, 187. He threw a pick six. He also threw 2 touchdown passes to his tight end Allen, to his wide receiver Hakeem Nicks. Clock continues to tick, and we have it from Indianapolis, and it'll be official in about 1 minute. The Colts will go to 10-4 with their 4th consecutive win and be the first team in the AFC into the playoffs, capturing the division. Next week they're at Dallas, week after at Tennessee. They did not want to let this one slip away. Houston, as a franchise, has now lost their 13th consecutive game in Indianapolis. They've never won. They go to 7-7 after winning their last 2 games and 3 of their last 4.
Well, last week it was Josh Gordon. He had the big interception at the end of the game. This week, Vontae Davis. Those cornerbacks for the Colts have come up huge.
The Colts are division champions, and the Texans gave them a lot to handle this afternoon. 2 touchdown passes by Luck. For Rich Gann and Kevin Harlan, we send you to New York.